During my PhD, I probably spent about 500 or more hours reading papers. And then I'd come back and read them all again, sometimes multiple times, because I could never re-find the information I was looking for, or I'd just forgotten what was in those papers. And so now that I know better, I'm going to share with you a system that I would develop for my PhD if I were to do it all over again, to save those thousands of hours of rereading papers and going back through them to find those interesting bits of knowledge. So the software platform that I've been developing actually lends itself really well to helping you with organizing knowledge that you're getting out of papers. So if you're familiar with tools like Notion or Airtable, this operates in a very similar way. And so the workflow I'm going to go through is based on tables. So here's a table that I've added, which will be my literature table. And what you can do with your PDFs of the papers that you're reading is just drag and drop them into this folder. They will be uploaded onto the system. Once it's there, it appears as a row in the table. Open it up, and you've got the paper here in this PDF viewer for you to read through. And when you come across interesting details like the key concepts or methods or any other category of info that you want to be able to access in future, you can highlight it and then hit this Capture Atom button. And what this does is lift that highlight out of the page so that you can access it from anywhere else within your workspace. And if I jump back into my literature table, the atoms property in this table displays that highlight that I've lifted. So you can already see the highlights that you might want in this table view. So let me jump back into that document. I won't go into how you should read a paper. I'm just going to focus on how you can organize the knowledge that you're getting from papers. So as you're working through, you can take further highlights, capture them. So if you're familiar with tables or relational databases, you'll know that tables can be used to store information, and you can add different properties to help you with organizing and sorting your information. And on Protolyst, we can also do some sorting and organizing of our atoms. So if I jump back into the document and scroll back through to our atoms, you can also view all the atoms that you've captured in a page by opening this toolbar and taking a look at your atoms, which will form a list in this side of the screen. So actually, when you're going through, you might want to say, this is a key concept. And what adding tags does is give you another way to kind of organize and group your information together. You can add as many tags as you want, and that will mean that the atom you have captured will appear next to the page that this tag corresponds to. And so jumping back into our table view, closing the atoms property, what we can do is add some further properties of type atom, and we can actually filter by the tags. And what this does is it means that anything I've added from this paper, which has been tagged with key concept, will display. And I can extend this workflow again, setting up filters for the other things that I'm interested in lifting from papers. Perhaps it's methods, and you can see that very quickly I can navigate to the important information that I have taken from these papers. And having a system like this, where all of the highlights I had made are accessible to me at this high level, would have been an incredible time saver. And so whatever system you build, I'd really recommend that you choose something that allows you to access those highlights and the really important info that you are going through and taking the time to digest and understand, because it will really save you a huge amount of time when you want to call upon that information in the future. So hopefully that walkthrough has given you a little bit of inspiration and guidance to go forward and build your own systems to have an efficient PhD where you're only having to read your papers once. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. Hope it was useful for you, and hope to see you again soon.